This is my Cochleanthes amazonica. This poor thing. No pseudobulbs, and it's thirsty, I guess, a lot. More than I've been giving it, I guess. I think that it may just really be a humidity issue. I just took it out of, I've had it since, I think the 2015. So I've had it a couple years now. And when I bought it, it had flowers on it. And it just had this one fan. And it was in a small, dark, it was probably, well, I don't know, the 2-inch or 4-inch black pot that you get from nurseries. And it had regular media in it, regular meaning bark. I think it had a bark mix actually with, you know, some, oh, what is that called? Perlite. And when I got it, it had moss growing on the top and whatnot. You could tell it had been in there for a long time. I don't remember how big the container was. It might have been smaller. Anyway, since then I have given it too much sun at one point, and definitely not enough humidity or hydration. So after it was done blooming, it started to grow that fan, and it was wrinkly right off the bat. And I couldn't keep it hydrated. So I took it out, cleaned it up, whatnot, and I do try to practice safe orchiding techniques. Sterilize, hydrogen peroxide, which hydrogen peroxide people don't mention, but there's a reason it's in a dark container. Hydrogen peroxide, this is 3% from the store. It is sensitive or volatile or whatever, and it doesn't stay active if it's in a clear container. It runs out of the strength really fast. So all these people that do their videos with clear bottles, it may still fizz, but it's probably way weaker than 3%, unless they mix it up right then. And I do have some that I can mix up also, and at full strength that's 29%, but that's a different subject for a different day. This guy I've had for so long that I might as well share my experience with it. I have not rebloomed it. When I repotted it, I can't remember what it went into exactly, but I know that I've tried, I tried pure sphagnum moss in a plastic with no ventilation, and I was rotting it. So I took it out of that. And this is about the same time I learned about how to pot. It's when I learned how to pot Neophanetia falcatas in clay with the bottom punched out, and then it's actually the sphagnum moss mound that goes in there for better circulation so that the roots get, dried out completely from the inside. Well, this is so thirsty that kind of completely defeats the point of that potting method. But live and learn. So that is a lot of moss that I had in there. All of that was in there. And this moss actually still seems pretty good. It doesn't smell. It's not broken down, but I probably will not use that again anyway. And I couldn't keep it moist enough, so I would set it in this with water and keep a reservoir. That's why the pot is all stained with water and deposits and whatnot. I also since then have moved and use RO water. And what else? I think with how much moss I put in there, because this is a kind of strange thing. Since there's no pseudobulbs, it needs to stay really hydrated, but the bottom and the top, it's really wobbly. And these roots, they remind me of African violet leaves. Like when they're moist, they snap really easy. And when they're, I don't know, I think when they're not as moist, they're maybe not quite as strong or, they remind me of like bean sprouts that are crunchy, that snap and break. That they are hairy, not from the roots themselves, but from the sphagnum moss that's left on them. So I'm trying to decide exactly what I want to do with this guy. I don't have very high humidity. I don't always run my humidifiers. So I'm thinking I may, do, well, and I need a clear plastic pot so that I can see what's going on with it. I may do some sphagnum moss with the white grow stones for air circulation and so that it doesn't compact quite so much. And I'll decide about holes on the sides or not. Probably not. I've had really good luck with my phragmipediums that way, with sphagnum moss and the white grow stones, just that completely with a clear container. And then I also can set it in a reservoir of water and it'll wick it and keep it fairly consistently moist. I can control it pretty good that way these days because of trial and error. So, and depending on how it grows with that, it may actually need to be in a large glass container, like a open terrarium, vivarium type thing, because, yep, poor thing, it's just thirsty. But whatever I was doing, it did work to the extent that these roots are very healthy. It doesn't look like 2 years of growth for me, but I cut off all the dead. These are all mushy and, icky. I got rid of all of those, so everything that's left is alive. I don't know if I'm repotting it at the wrong time or whatnot. Obviously, these were all alive at one point. I think it may have just been overpacked, or I repotted it at the wrong time, or it's sensitive and it doesn't like to be repotted. And I just set this plant back another 2 years. Who knows? I don't. But like you can see here, dang it. I've been super careful while cutting this and moving it around. That snapped. This here, I cut, the bottom half of it was dead, so I cut it up until I saw green. The roots do branch though and split off. Like here's an old that you can see that has a new growing tip. Come here. There you go. Has new tips on it. Where's more? Anyway, so hopefully it'll get settled and branch off and be okay. It won't just kill its roots off. Here's another growth coming. So that would make sense, I guess, if it does a growth a year and I've had it 2 years. 1, 2. Hopefully this new growth, all right, there you are. We'll be able to put roots out and be happier. Yeah, and yeah, all the roots that I cut off, they were from the middle. They were probably, you know, from that, mostly the oldest growth. So let's see. That growth, look, it's still pushing out new roots, so it has a chance. Anyway, if people are interested, I can keep you updated. That's my story with my Cochleanthes amazonica, which apparently is called something else now, words of wicked sit. Anyway, thanks. Bye, friends.